Good morning and welcome to Monday Inspo with Pastor Nina Obikudo. How are you doing this Monday morning? Happy new month, because this is the first time that I get to speak to you in the month of June. Wow, we are almost halfway gone in the year 2022, and we're grateful to God for his mercies, his kindness, his goodness, and his love towards us all. Sorry, we're starting up a bit late today. I had a bit of network issues, but I'm glad to be with you now on Monday Inspo. We will be looking at transitioning maybe for the next 2 weeks, and I trust that after then we will all have a smooth transition into our next phase, into our next position as God will move us. Okay, so this is the month of June, and it's a month of transition for you. It's a month of transition for me, and I trust God that we will all move. There will all be a shift for every one of us in our career, in our spiritual life, in every area or facet of our life. We will experience a shift or a transition. Now, a transition is simply a shift or a movement from one place or one position to another, and I trust that you will also have a shift. Now, Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says, there is a season, a time appointed for everything, and a time for every delight and event or purpose under heaven. That's from the Amplified Version of the Holy Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. There is a season, a time appointed for everything, and a time for every delight and event or purpose under heaven. Now, we all know that this is so true. Life is in stages, life is in phases, and every single time we may have to move, we may have to relocate, we may have to shift from one place to the other, or from one position to the other. Now, this is that season. If you understand, this is that season for a shift in your life. This is that season for a shift in your business. This is that season for a shift in your career. Okay, but some people are like, how do I know? How do I believe? Do I just say it's a shift for me because every other person is saying it? Now, there are some signs, okay, that help you know that this is your season of transitioning. And many people don't really pay attention to those signs. They don't understand it fully, and so they do not get themselves prepared for the shift, or for the repositioning, or for the transitioning that is happening in their life. Now, we'll just look at two of those signs that show you that you are in a season of transitioning, okay, so you don't miss it. Now, the first one we will look at today is restlessness. You know, there are some children who are just everywhere and they say, this child is restless. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an inward restlessness, you know, that is clamoring for a change. You get to a point where you know that there's something about where I am now. I shouldn't be here. There's something more. There's something calling me. There's a drawing. There's something telling me that there is more. There's something telling me that I need to move to the other side. So that's an inner restlessness that is clamoring for a change. That is saying, I'm not satisfied with what I have now. I'm not talking about being covetous. I'm talking about knowing that there is more that I should achieve. There's more that I should attain. There's something on the other side that I should go for. So it's inner. It's a conviction, it's a witness, it is strong. It keeps you restless. It keeps you not, you know, resting in that position, in that season, because you should have moved. Now, if you look at the butterfly, it gets to a point when the butterfly needs to express himself and come out of his cocoon. It becomes restless. It becomes, you know, uncomfortable with that position, uncomfortable with that situation. It tries to push, it tries to strive for a breakthrough, it tries to go forward. Why? Because that is a season of transitioning. If it doesn't push, if it doesn't obey the inner restlessness to move forward, to break through, it may die at that stage. But the butterfly has to push, has to press forward. Same as seeds, when they are in the soil, they've been planted, they have to push, they have to break through the soil. They have to spring out, they have to sprout out. So the first sign that you are transitioning is when you have this restlessness and a conviction that you need to go for more, that you need to move, that something needs to change. That's the first sign that you are in your season of transition. Now, the next sign will be truth from either your wise circle of friends, or from your safe circle, or from your mentors, You know, people who have gone before you, or people who you respect or you seek counsel and advice from. Now, these are people who will tell you truth. That's what I call it, truth about your current position. So these people tell you that you shouldn't be here now. Now, a lot of us know, some people say, look, I look at you and I see more than what you are giving. I know you are more than this. I know you can become more. I know there's something about you. You haven't hit it yet. Now, you need that kind of truth from, because a lot of people seem to be comfortable with where they are. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, you need the truth sometimes to say, hey, you have stayed on this mountain for too long. You've got to move forward. So there are people who will push you. There are people who will tell you the truth, that you may be celebrating your now, but this isn't where you should be. There's still so much work to do. You need to shift. There has to be a shift, a transition into the next level, to your next phase. So these people begin to speak. It may not just be one person, but you see, it comes to a point where you get some pressure from all around you, truth from people to tell you that you may be celebrated where you are now, but this is not your place. This isn't where you should be. You need to move. You need to go forward. You need to take a step. You need to do this and you need to do that. You need to listen. That is a sign that you are in your season of transition. You don't want to miss it. So you want to listen to the truth that these people tell you. On the other hand, it may not be all rosy. Some people are in bad relationships. Some people are in bad places at work, bad places with relationship with their bosses or their colleagues, or things are not just seeming all good and well. And then people come and ask you real questions about that situation, about that circumstance. It's time for you to think. You may just be in your season of transition. It may just be the time for you to move. Okay, so don't say, well, this is all I have for now, so let me just manage. I know it's not all good and pleasant. I know they're not treating me right. But what can I do? Let me just manage. No. Listen to the truth. Listen to the thick, the dark, the strong questions that come from people around you concerning that situation. It may be a sign for move. It may be a sign for shift. It may be a sign of transition or for transition. So you don't have to stay there. And like I said, transiting is not always pleasant. It doesn't always happen in an atmosphere of joy and celebration. Now, it took Joseph to go to the pit. It took him to go to prison before he got to the palace. It was a season of transition for him, but it didn't seem pleasant. So sometimes the situations and the circumstances that come with your transition may not be as pleasant, may not be as beautiful, excuse me, may not be as beautiful, you know, as you want it to be. But in all, once you recognize that this is your season for a shift, go through it, follow through it, and you eventually will find in a few maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe months, you will look back and see that there has been a shift in your life. There has been a shift in your ministry. There's been a shift in your career. There's been a shift in your relationship with people. And everything seems to have turned around, and you may just begin to blossom like the butterfly that has come out, that has had a breakthrough from his cocoon. Now that's it on Monday in School. You need to recognize the signs for transition. This is your season of transition. But are you recognizing the signs? Are you listening to the things that people are saying to you? Are you observing your environment and seeing that you really need a change? Are you looking inward and seeing that there is an inward restlessness and clamor for change? And are you following it through? Now that's it on Monday in School. You must observe and understand that this is your season and walk through it until your change comes. And next week we will look at some mistakes that we need to avoid while we're transiting. And I hope that this has helped someone. I hope this has encouraged someone to know that transition is possible. You don't have to die where you are. You can move, you can shift, and God is ready to shift you. There is a time and there is a purpose for your life. No man will put you down. No man will put you under. Now, have a blessed week. And until I come your way again, remain blessed, stay safe, and always know that God does love you. Remember to pray for our country, Nigeria, and all the nations of the world. Have a blessed week.